been stuck in here for so long. Might be nice to stretch my legs for a bit. Each day gives me something.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Getting Close Up, the show focused on independent artists and creatives. I'm your host, Danielle Cox. And since I have your attention, go ahead and become a member of the GCU fam today by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and ding the notification bell so you don't miss a single thing. We thank you for your support, welcoming your new support. Trust me, we welcome it. My guest today, when I think of words that describe them, weird, whimsical, poignant, and thoughtful. Their style touches on punk, alternative, and even a sea shanty or two. The thing I like the most about them, though, is that they seriously relish not taking themselves too seriously. Today, we are getting close up with the members of Cat Voltron. Hey, Cat Voltron.
Hey.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here. And I want to go ahead and start with some introductions. First,
I'm Zach. I play guitar and sing for Cat Voltron.
nice.
Aaron Hudspeth, I'm the bassist.
And Duncan Payne, I play drums.
So I need to start out with the first thing, the name, Cat Voltron. I have to know where it came from.
Yeah, so it's a name I made up in, I want to say 2017 or 2018, just to describe myself, really. Like, I picture like a bunch of cats in like a person suit and what they would do, you know, just eat and sleep a lot. And that was kind of where I was at back then. Like, I slept a lot more than I do now back then. And yeah, just eating and like also writing music. So I do like to picture a bunch of cats like operating a human suit and trying to play guitar. And
That is hilarious. And I think it explains perfectly why I use the description words that I use
yeah.
in my intro. I think like literally it touches on every single one of it because the name is like adorable and terrifying at the same time. Because Voltron itself is like made of lions. And so it's like, it is a cat. It's a big cat. And, you know, lions are just really big kitties, house cats, essentially, that can kill you. So, but the idea of cats operating in a people suit.
Yeah, I hadn't really seen the show at all. Like a few seconds ago, I just learned it was all lions. But I really just wanted a word for like a bunch of things coming together as one to get that image across. It's just, that was like the shortest, punchiest one. And I'm just kind of hoping I don't get like a cease and desist from Hasbro anytime soon. You know what I mean?
They're not worried about it. Trust me.
I'm hoping.
They're not worried about it. So how did you guys end up becoming part of this cat suit?
So I know Aaron from college.
Mm-hmm.
He played in a band called the Dead Cats back then.
There's a theme there.
A lot of like cat themes.
Yeah.
Bring it all full circle.
It was short-lived, but
Yeah, but he played bass, and you know, I hung out with him after we graduated. He mentioned like he plays bass. If you want to play bass sometime, and I was like, all right, come on and play bass for me.
Yeah.
And Duncan, I know from I kind of cut my teeth doing open mics at the Rhino, like starting in like 2021, I think. And I met you in like 2023, early 2023. Yeah.
That's when I first started playing.
Yeah, he was hanging out there, jumping in with groups, playing drums, playing the cajon.
A lot of cajon back then.
Yeah. Well, we had another drummer before him, and then we had a show coming up, and that drummer said, hey, I'm starting school again, I can't play this show coming up. I was like, oh,
That's going around.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple common themes there.
We gotta stop educated drummers. It has to end.
Well, drummers don't make enough money as it is, so you know, I need a nice side gig.
No, you do. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We're talking about a side gig.
And yeah, I had played a little bit with Duncan on the cajon at the Rhino before. He played cajon on Everything's Gonna Be All Right.
Yeah, that one threw me off.
That
one really threw me off.
I didn't know
got me interested in the music though.
I didn't know there was a bar of 6/4 until I asked him to play it. He was like, wait, there's this weird bit. I was like, what? Oh, I didn't notice that.
Okay, so there's some music theory knowledge up in there happening.
A bit.
He's kind of like a jazzy kind of drummer, right?
Yeah.
That's how you describe
Well,
yourself?
yeah,
I do
that's
a lot
kind
of
what
jazz kind of
centered
stuff.
on. Nice. That's awesome. So you kind of touched a little bit on previous band experience. And I know band life it's a tough thing. It's its whole other animal. It actually is a lot like a cat. It will just knock you off the table whenever it feels like it, right?
Yeah.
So how many different bands have you guys been in? And like kind of what was your earliest experiences?
Well, I never actually really started playing in bands until I got started here in KC. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have. So my actual band experience is pretty limited to these guys. Garrett Buster, who plays around here in the KC scene, and then just a couple little shows here and there with friends of mine. But yeah, really just a few groups here in Kansas City is where my experience ends.
Well, when did you start playing the drums?
It was very casual, but I started playing when I was probably freshman, sophomore in high school.
Oh, okay.
But at that point, I had quit playing in high school band because I kind of just lost interest a bit. So it was all self-taught and just for fun. I wasn't sure if I was ever actually going to play with other bands, and then saw how good the scene here was in KC and decided I wanted to get more involved. And then, yeah, the first actual full show on Kid I played was just with me and one of my friends on guitar. And it wasn't long after that Zach asked if I wanted to play with Cat Voltron as well, and kind of took off from there.
So did the background in like more educational music knowledge, did that happen in school? Or did you kind of come up on that on your own?
So I went to a very, very small high school in rural Northwest Missouri. Mm-hmm. And so the high school band was more of the teachers taught us how to play the songs we were playing for the concerts, and that was about it.
Right.
Not really a whole lot in terms of theory or composition.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up some of that in college, but not as much as I would have liked. I still think that my theory needs some work. Like I can't write songs like these guys can, but I can write drums. So I do that much. That's my job.
Nice. That's what they need you for.
So for me, back in college, I want to say it was junior year of college. A couple of my friends were forming a band, and I had just started playing bass about 2 years previous. So I had a little bit, I was okay. And they were like, hey, do you want to join up? So I was like, sure. And we did probably 90% covers. It wasn't anything like this where it's all originals or mostly originals.
Yeah.
So I think we did manage to write like 2 original songs. But like I said, we were called Dead Cats because we were like, oh, let's be all edgy. Yeah. And everyone's like, why'd you pick that name? I was like, I don't know.
Did it ever make anybody mad? Because some people get mad about stuff like that.
There were some people that were like, you should change your name because it's offensive. And I was like, we were like, yeah. Ooh, it was like, college, man.
Yeah.
That lasted about maybe a year and a half. And then, life got busier. So we just kind of broke up because we graduated, and it just, post college, it was way too difficult to keep everyone together. Then I didn't really play much at all for the 6 or 7 years, just because I didn't have anyone to play with.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I think Zach messaged me about one of his songs, and he's like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to get some bass recorded on this. Would you be interested? So I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And then that was Fisherman's Tale, or was that Stuck Inside?
I'm pretty sure that's Fisherman's Tale. I think I did that one before Stuck Inside. Yeah.
So I did that one, and I just kind of became the de facto bassist for Cat Voltron then.
Yeah. For me, I tried to make some bands with friends in like high school and college. That didn't go anywhere. It would be like, it would be like me playing guitar and then another friend who played guitar and then 2 people who wanted to sing and write music. Well, it's not a terribly fleshed out sound. And then we would like never meet for practice. It was multiple stuff, things like that.
That'll take you right out.
There was one little group I made with a friend from high school while I was in college. We did manage to make some very strange recordings and record some stuff, but that didn't really go anywhere. We never played any live shows or anything. I didn't really get any experience playing live until 2021, 2022, when I started hanging out at the Rhino, trying to play in front of people really for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been very helpful having the Rhino there. So yeah, this is, it's hard for me to call Cat Voltron like my only band, but I haven't really done anything else super substantial musically.
It's kind of your baby, essentially.
Yeah. Cat Voltron's basically where I put all all my problems into songs and then sing them.
All my problems into songs and sing them.
Yeah.
And then they form together. Yeah. Now you talked about, because like listening to you guys and from other artists that I've talked to, 2020, 2021, those years have just been really pivotal. I think it's a pattern that I see for people to like get back into music or discover music or start performing, doing things that they never would have done before. They go from just playing in their bedroom on their guitar and, oh, my songs aren't any good, I'm not going to do anything with it. And then now they're like fully performing. And in those experiences, I know that you have good moments and you have bad moments. You have a major bomb story, like it just didn't go well.
Oh, I mean, I know the one that I think of is like a major bomb, like during the pandemic itself, or just like a show.
Like a show that didn't go well, like where
well.
you bombed. It's a tomato, boo, tomato.
Never anything super awful. I keep thinking of the time that I started playing Fisherman's Tale, but I still had a capo on my guitar from the last one. And from the last song we played before that, and I didn't really notice at first, and I was like, "Wait,
This
the
don't
bass,
sound right.
yeah, the bass
everything
was
sounded
low.
all-
The bass was too low, and I was like trying to keep my voice up with the guitar, and I was like, something sounds wrong. Oh, I just pulled it off and dropped it on the floor mid song, and then I moved my hands down.
Gotta pretend like it never happened.
Aaron had moved his bass up to like try to
I
compensate
was
for
trying
what
to
I
play
was
up, and I
doing.
was like, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
something,
good effort. Good effort.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was
something
like,
sounds wrong, and I don't know if it's me. And
no, it was good. It was good hustle. It was just like,
Man,
I was just like, oh no, I just ruined this. And we like, we finished the song as normal as we could. But yeah, I felt pretty bad after that. So that's the one I think of the most, because that was all my fault.
well, since you mentioned Fisherman's Tale, talk to me about that song. That's a really interesting song.
Yeah, so that one, that was, I didn't have the idea for the words for that song at all at first. That came from like the chord pattern in the chorus and the beginning of the verse, that like G major, C major kind of meandering around the higher notes of the higher strings on the fretboard. I had those two ideas like separately, and then one day I just put them together, and I started with the first words, and they laughed till they cried, and then I just kind of and we laughed till we cried, and I just kind of at the time when I did eventually, like I had those ideas 2019 or 2020, something like that, and I don't think I got around to finishing them until 2022. I remember being at the Rhino a lot, not even playing that, and I was just like, I want to finish figuring out what the heck the song's about, and just trying to write all the lyrics on my phone down there, trying to reorder them and structure them. And yeah, it was it's a song about a guy who goes fishing with his best friend, and big monster like shows up like he was being warned about, and eats the best friend. And when the guy comes back, like no one believes him about it, like the guy at the beginning of the story. So Fisherman's Tale, it's like there's fishermen, there's two men in the boat, but these are like a multiple fishermen, like generations conceivably of like fishermen who were like telling the story like, oh, this is big fish, no one believes me. So,
and it's like it's multi-layered for that reason. It's a fisherman's tale that's kind of a big fish story where people don't believe you, and then other fishermen tell your tale. I thought that was super interesting. I was like, I really like that. You give big bard energy, like.
Thank you.
Huge compliment. Huge compliment.
Yeah,
wow. Maybe you should write more sea shanties. It seems like they're going over well.
Like, no, for real, you get big bard energy, and I was just like, nah, that's dope. I like the way you tell stories, and I like how everyone like kind of like the way that you all play together helps tell that story. And I think that's just really interesting. Now, one we talked about, I keep returning back to you being made of cats in a human suit. And I can tell how much you all really love music, but then there's also another side to music. The side that most artists absolutely hate. And it's the business side of things. It's right. You just saw it just settle on you.
Yeah.
The business side of things. And I feel like you definitely hate that.
it's something I'm kind of having trouble with. Like all my musician friends, they're very good at making more like video content and more good. So Aaron actually played in the Dead Cats with Alex Stockman from Aiming Arrows, a local metal band who are like kind of blowing up now, and they make really good TikTok and Instagram videos and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. They're very good at social media. I see their stuff and I'm like, I actually am interested in them now.
Yeah, and you're like, that could be us. And then you keep scrolling.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I get it. I get it though. It's like, it's not an indictment, but like I ask people about it because the social media aspect is so tough. The business aspect is so tough. Like the business thing you kind of do because you want to get paid for what you're doing. You want to keep performing. You want to, be able to buy strings and do the things that you need to do. But then that element of having to like constantly become a car salesman for yourself just really doesn't feel
feels
good.
icky. Yeah,
It is kind of icky.
It really detracts from how much you can enjoy what you're doing.
I feel like I'm spamming people like, come see us, please, God.
Please.
Yeah. I've had people tell me if I don't get a TikTok and an Instagram, then like there's no way to get bigger shows because promoters like to look at how many followers you have, how much traffic your pages get. I want to just play the music. I have fun playing music, so I don't want to focus on that stuff. I feel like it's going to really take away from how special the scene is in general. Some people navigate that territory a lot better than I think I would. It seems like it's a little more natural for them to be thinking about the Instagram and the TikTok all the time. But I like to do it just for fun, and if I turn it into a business where I have to worry about it day in, day out, then it's not very much fun anymore,
I get that. And one thing, and this kind of goes into something that I mentioned when we were off camera, as independent artists, the conversation I feel should be openly had consistently about what success looks like. Because some people feel that success is getting a bunch of followers and being seen by the promoters that value that so they can feel valued and have their art valued in a way that means something to them. But if that's not your value system for your art, then what does success look like for you? I'm gonna pose that question to you guys.
Yeah, for me, it's just having people who are like my music. Honestly, like, I think you're one of the first people I've talked to talked to me about Fisherman's Tale, like how you like the story in that. Like no one's really brought that up to me before, actually.
Nice.
I explained it to my mom once and she thought it was a neat idea, but like, I think it sounded like before I even said anything, you were like, oh, I like the lyrics to this. That's a cool concept. So stuff like that flatters me. That makes me very happy.
Oh,
so
awesome.
like being able to create more, to create as much as I want to create, the projects that I have in mind, and to have people enjoy what I create, or even if they don't, as long as I like it, someone has to like it. That's, for me, that's what success would feel like. Like I knew I saved up some money and I quit my job a few years ago to like try to do this full time. Just to like focus on it, just like create the art that I had been wanting to for such a long time. And I knew it was never going to be like a full-time income. Like I'm looking for a job again right now. I'm having difficulties with that. But my point is, I knew I would never make a full-time living off of it. I just wanted to create this art that I've like have half written in like a bunch of notebooks and stuff, just to get that out there before I die. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's my answer.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like as long as people like what we play, like there's been shows where we make like $15 each, and it's like, hey, it's enough for a couple of beers.
For free.
Drank for free.
Exactly.
People liked us, and like came up after the show and said like they enjoyed our stuff. And I've had people ask like, oh, when's your next show? And they actually do show up. I mean, that's about as big as a compliment as I can get. I mean,
It's awesome. It's amazing. And I think, again, that's why that conversation is so important, because you can just be as equally passionate about your value system and what success means to you as someone else who is going about it a different way. That doesn't make your path wrong. It doesn't make their path wrong. It's just different paths. And I think it's really refreshing to, and I'm sure it's it's going to be refreshing for other artists to hear that they're not a failure because they're not doing what everybody else is doing. Like, how do you deal with some of the pressure and maybe guilt that you're not doing things in a way that people would expect?
I don't have any guilt over it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm not guilty about it at all. Like, I'm not worried about it. I think that if people want to come watch the shows, if they like what we're playing, then they're gonna know that we're playing, and me having an Instagram is not really gonna change it. Because like they said, if we make $25 and then that buys me a few drinks for the night, I just played in front of some friends and they told me they liked it and we all had a good night, that's enough for me. Like that's why I do it. So yeah, there's no guilt at all.
I mean, yeah, I'd say like a part of making art is you're not trying to make the same thing that everyone else is, or at least you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be trying to be a carbon copy of what someone else is doing. So like, I want to do my own thing. I know there's similarities to what other people are doing too. Some people have good ideas. I'm like, all right, let me mess around with that. But if what you're going out to see is just the exact same thing as something else that you could be seeing, I don't know what the point is really.
I get that. I 100% get that. And you guys are not the same thing that I see. And I've been seeing quite a bit. I've not seen it all, and I've definitely not seen everything. But you guys definitely bring something that's different. That just kind of make your ears like perk up and pay attention to what is it that you're saying, even if you're saying it so fast that nobody can tell what it is, like on purpose, or the songs that you do. Some of the songs that you do. So you write most of the songs, if not all the songs.
Yeah, we do some covers. I Want to Be Your Dog by the Stooges, Hash Pipe, which is technically
it's a song that my old band used to cover, and then at some point I decided to change it up a bit and do like a swing version because I was so bored of playing it because it's on bass. It's honestly a pretty boring song. And then I pitched the idea to him and we just kind of adapted to our own thing.
And that's the beauty of it, being able to come together and work on songs and be able to give each other the pieces of the puzzle that's needed. And I love that. So for your style in particular, because you do have a lot of material that's out there, that's available to be streamed and everything. You have an album that was released. For your sound and the way that you all perform, do you prefer in studio or live?
I mean,
That's a good question.
yeah, like overall, I'd say like for the newer stuff I've been writing, the more folksy, rocky kind of stuff, like I like playing it live because studio I get too into my head about if the take was perfect and I play it over and over again. Like we haven't really I'm gonna think about this. What do you guys think?
The sound of the songs, a studio would be good so we can like really control all of the variables. But in terms of where I like to perform, definitely live more. I have way more fun playing live than recording. I mean, nobody's listening to that. There's no crowd. Like it's not even close to as much fun. But I do think if we wanted to get the perfect sound, a studio would be preferable, of course, especially with the newer songs you're writing.
Yeah. I know for like some of the older stuff I have on like that one album that's on Spotify, the old singles, a lot of that is like studio stuff. And anytime I'm playing like a piano on there, I'm not great at the piano.
No, it sounds good though. It kind of surprised me when a song popped up and I said, "You play piano?"
Not live, not yet. Like I sometimes I'm tempted to like bring the keyboard to like an open mic and be like, all right, let's see how this goes. But
May as well.
You may as well.
Someday. I don't need to anytime soon though.
And getting onto like the artist community, you said you're working on an EP right now. So how is that going? Like, do any of you produce or?
I do. I don't know if I'm good at it, but I do. I bought like basically a music technology textbook on like mixing that I read last year.
That sounds fun.
It was interesting. No, I mean it's an interesting process. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know how it works, and now I know a lot more. A lot of the stuff I've been seeing though is this kind of like it's it's art. It's all to taste. There's no one set way to do it. Like the book that I got, it actually has like interviews with like so many different producers from so many different genres that I have yet to dive into. Yeah,
does sound kind of cool.
yeah. No, it's a neat book. So yeah, I produce it. Like the everything that's on Spotify, I did produce myself. I have thought of like getting someone else with more experience to produce it, but I did just sort of start to think like well, my own production is also a part of the art too, a part of the art that I make, trying to get it just the way I want it. So that's, yeah. And I mean, how it's going now is we have Alec, my friend from Aiming Arrows, has agreed to like record the drums for Duncan before he leaves for Dublin at the end of the month. So Duncan and I we're gonna take our drums over to his place, and yeah, Alec's helping me record. I'll be listening to and trying to get the sound that I want, doing the mixing later, and then I'm also moving myself in with my girlfriend later this month, and I'm hoping after that Aaron can come by, and that'll be a lot closer for you actually, because anyways, record the bass, and then I'll just spend a month or two putting it together, then hopefully finally have something new to show the world by the end of the year.
So you got a lot of stuff that you like are currently still writing, or?
I think the songs that I want, definitely like the 4 main songs I want for it, have all been written. There's some things that I'm debating putting on there too that might flesh it out a little bit more, but we'll see. I might just go with the 4 because it's pretty cohesive with the 4 songs that I'm thinking of putting on there as it is. But I don't know. It's always in the back of my mind. What if you did this? What if you did that?
So one last question for you guys. You talked about what success looks like for you. You talked about some of the things that you have coming on the horizon. What is the thing that you're most excited to see happen next for Cat Voltron?
For me, it's just getting this EP done. If I start to think about it more than one project at a time, it kind of all overwhelms me a little bit.
The overwhelm.
Yeah, I've got other like albums very loosely in mind, a lot of half-written songs, but just this EP will be the most exciting thing, because like when I quit my job, I told myself, all right, I'm gonna get something written over like this next year that I'm out. I can definitely do something, and I didn't, or the year after that, and now it's been 2 years. So
gosh,
just finally getting something out of it. Or besides all the shows and stuff, and the great experiences with my friends here.
Like, that's not for nothing.
I'm excited to see that EP too. I think there's some good songs there. I think we're pretty dialed in as a group. And yeah, I don't think it's gonna take too long to get that polished up, and hopefully you all enjoy it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, since we have already plugged that and we talked about how great you are with social media, why don't you go ahead and let people know where they can find Cat Voltron and keep up?
Yeah, you can find Cat Voltron on Instagram at cat_Voltron. Facebook, it's Cat Voltron Music. Cat is capitalized, Voltron is capitalized, music is capitalized, and it's all one word. There's no really easy way for me to say that, but and we're on Spotify. The EP will release on Spotify. Hopefully, have some physical releases maybe. Spotify, iHeartRadio. The services nowadays they let you put your music on like everything, like services I've never heard of in my entire life. So whatever you use for music, we're probably on there.
I'm Duncan Payne, and you can find me hanging out with these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find me on Facebook, Aaron Hudsmith, I guess, if you really want to be friends.
Silverhawk712 on Instagram. 79.
At Silverhawk79 on Instagram, but I don't like post much on there. But
that's awesome. Well, I am excited for what is next, and for you guys to just keep being your weird, whimsical, awesome selves. I absolutely love it. I personally do. I'm not just saying that because you're sitting in my chairs and that you're going to eat food here later. I honestly, genuinely mean it.
Well,
thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah,
thanks for having us. Yeah,
that was fun.
Thanks again to Cat Voltron for joining me. If you guys had as much fun as we did, make sure that you like, you subscribe, you comment, you check out the description box below, and follow Cat Voltron so you can stay updated. New episodes are getting close up. They're bi-weekly on Fridays. Also, make sure to check in with me and Dee for when we give you the tea on what's hot and what's not with GCU Reviews. We have a great time doing it. You already know what it is. Thank you guys for watching and being the best part of all of this. And I'll see you again soon for another close up. I'll be checking for you. Bye.